Hello and welcome to another edition of Big Centre TV's weekly business show. This week, the focus is very much on recruitment. How do companies decide on the best candidates for a job? And not only that, if you're somebody looking for a career change, how can you maximise your chances of wowing a potential new boss? Well, one West Midlands Chamber of Commerce has secured funding from the Department of Work and Pensions to roll out a brand new innovative service. It's called People Portal. And to tell us more about it, Richard Sheehan and Chris Jones from Shropshire Chamber are with us. Before we speak to them, and good evening gents, thank you for joining us, let's have a little look at a snippet of the People Portal video CV. This is Yvonne Hughes, a former West Bromwich head teacher.
Hello, my name is Yvonne Hughes and I've lived in Telford for nearly 18 years, but I'm originally from West Bromwich. I retired last year after teaching in and around the West Midlands for 36 years. During this time, I have taught in a variety of primary schools and worked my way up the management ladder until in 2007 I was appointed head teacher of a Church of England primary school in Wednesbury. However, following a year in which I fulfilled many of my lifelong desires to travel to places I was unable to visit whilst working full-time, I now find myself missing many aspects of the working environment and the satisfaction that making a difference to so many brought. Therefore, I'm now looking to return to work, but on a part-time basis. There are many facets to the role of head teacher. No 2 days were ever the same, and very often the activities or tasks organised and planned for the day had to be changed.
Right then, well that's given us a little bit of an idea of what People Portal is all about. So take us, Richard, back to the very beginning. How far back do we go and when did this all start?
We go back 2 years when, as a Chamber of Commerce, we were looking to recruit a couple of salespeople. And we did the traditional route. We advertised in the press. We received a pile of CVs, which was enormous, as you do in that particular environment, and it became very clear very quickly that a lot of them were downloaded off the internet. They all looked very much the same: fill this box in, fill this box in. And my attention span isn't the best, so I found I was whipping through them very quickly and discounting a lot very quickly. I got to the end of the pile and I thought, I haven't done those justice really, and so I set about going back to the ones that I'd actually discounted completely and starting to read them a little more thoroughly, because I was cutting them out as soon as I saw something I didn't like.
It is hard, isn't it, when you're recruiting like that, even just the way a CV is presented, or maybe the way it's been delivered or laid out, you form an instant impression of a potential worker, don't you, straight away, and it can be miles from the truth.
You really do, and it's very difficult for those candidates to actually sort of get across their strengths, their personality, and obviously sometimes their skills and abilities, because of the size of CV that it can actually be. So from that we decided that this probably has really done its day, and we did a lot of research and we found out that actually employers did agree with us that the old-fashioned CV paper version was something which they found quite a challenge. Nobody liked the huge pile and the time it took, and so it was time for us to set about trying to do something differently. Initially, to help our businesses as a Chamber of Commerce, that was the original thought, was to help match the right person with the business need, and therefore to help that business growth and that economic growth that comes with it. But very, very quickly we realised that the potential for this was massive, and that yes, it would do what we wanted it to do, but by embracing recruitment as we were, and basically turning it on its head and starting to look to advertise people to businesses rather than businesses advertising for people, we realised that there was a great opportunity for people in sectors such as ex-offenders, for graduates looking for opportunities, and for our invisible young unemployed, not to mention the more mature people who'd got the large CV. They wanted to get that message across, and actually those were the people where we started from. But my goodness me, what it can now do for everybody is immense, as we've seen just from one of the clips there.
Absolutely. And Chris, so just talk us through, how does it work then in practice? If I come to you and I say I quite fancy a crack at this People Portal thing, what happens to me?
The program, we take candidates through a journey which starts with 2 days worth of training. First day's worth of training will be CV writing training, which is by a business trainer using business language. Day 2 will be CV writing and interview techniques training, again by a business trainer using business language. What they'll then form with the skills they've learned on those 2 days, is they'll create their own script, which will then be used as for their video CV. After their video CV is complete, We'll then upload that to our people portal, whereby each candidate will be given their own profile page. On that profile page, they'll have their written CV as well as their video CV on there as well. There'll be an interview me button for potential employers to actually click on if they've seen someone that they actually like the look of, they want to talk to about a position within the organisation, and that comes through to us. What we will then do with that is obviously we'll liaise with the candidate and try and put together a convenient date and time for candidate and employer. We also give each individual their own unique URL, their own unique web address. The reason we do that is to try and encourage them to broaden their reach with their video CV, put it on their CV, their written CV, as well as their cover letters that they send out to employers, all giving themselves that unique selling proposition against others, individuals that aren't applying for the same role.
Now, not everybody is as brave as the two of you gents here in putting yourselves in front of a TV camera. How have you found that as far as candidates go? I mean, in terms of, is there a lot of coaching involved to actually get them to deliver it?
As I say, it's quite a daunting prospect for most people to actually, as I say, be put in front of a camera. What we tend to do is we're working with a video production company, which part of their brief is to coach candidates who 90% of the time are very low on confidence. So one of the upshots of the whole programme for us has been people's confidence, us raising their confidence levels for them to actually go out and find work. So that's something that is an integral part of what we're trying to achieve, is the video coaching and the actual, when they look back at themselves and see themselves on screen, on the website and things, it really is. We've had some great feedback from individuals to say it's invigorated them to go out and find work, and it's really given them a shot in the arm in terms of confidence.
It's good personal development for them anyway, isn't it? So Richard, what stage are we at with the process now then? How many have gone through this, and have we got any success stories to report back?
Yeah, well, I mean, we currently got around 20 on there, so we're quite in the early days as far as that is concerned, but we're already sort of sending out templates with candidates of the day to our local business community, and we're getting some response, and quite surprisingly, possibly, we had somebody ring up about one of the candidates for a managing director role, a serious inquiry, and actually that will go to interview stage now. So it's not just the lower end of the market that's being viewed. It is a really broad spectrum, and it's there for everybody. You know, I think what we have to understand these days is we live in a world of technology, as we do in the studio now. Businesses use it all day, every day. You know, we've got the blessed smartphones now, we've got tablets, we've got laptops, and the convenience to be able to conduct a first interview using your technology of choice at a time that suits you, I think is immense, quite frankly.
Well, I think because of the explosion of technology, it's all the more important and all the more difficult to actually give yourself a competitive advantage when you're looking for a job, isn't it? So.
It is very much so. And if you're in a pile of 100, 150 applicants, that's magnified immensely. So suddenly, not only are you given a USP, but if you are using your unique URL that Chris touched on, you're able to include that in your application. We receive applications, most of us in business now, electronically, literally clicking on the link, and instantly the candidate is in front of you going through their CV. It's fast, it's efficient, it's cost effective, it's what businesses want, it's what they've asked us for, and we're delivering it.
And it's a great skill for the people that go through it, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah.
To say, you know, I can do presentation skills, you maybe put them on your CV that you possibly didn't have in the first place.
Absolutely. We have had some notable, just going back on in terms of successes, we've had a notable success in placing candidates as well. We actually placed a Telford gentleman into a role over in an Ellesmere business. He actually come back and give us some feedback around that. It was a role he would never have applied for himself. He had the skills to do the position, however his confidence was so low at the time that he just couldn't, he lowered his expectations of the kind of job he was going to get as his next position. So we actually put the company together through our own marketing, and as I say, the candidate went there within 24 hours, was offered the position, and it was in exactly the field that he was looking to go into as well.
You sense this scheme is just the tip of a potentially national iceberg, don't you? Because it's not specific to the West Midlands. This is relevant everywhere, isn't it?
We're using technology. Whoever's involved in it, no matter where they're from. Yes, we're based in Shropshire, but obviously it doesn't matter where you're from. You can actually get involved in the programme itself. There is a commercial arm to it, which is very, very cost effective. And because we embrace technology, we use the web-based support. you can use that wherever you are. So yeah, this has huge potential. We know various government departments have seen this, and they like it. We've got letters of endorsement from them already, and we're feeling very, very positive about this because we could really make a difference.
So if people want to have a look at maybe some of the people who've put their CVs up already and want to find out more about how to get involved, what do they do?
Please visit the website, which is www.scocpeopleportal.com, and full information's on there, and so they can look at candidates as well.
Excellent. Well, gents, thank you for coming in.
Thank
Good
you.
luck with People Portal. I have a feeling we might be talking again soon.
I'm sure
Thank
we
you
will.
very much.
Thank you.
After the break, we'll be talking human resources with one of the new directors of the Black Country Chamber of Commerce. Join us in a moment. Hello and welcome back to Midlands Business Update. Before we meet our final guest, let's take a quick look at some of the local business headlines. Several companies from around our region have been recognised for their contribution to British industry in the 2015 Queen's Awards. They include Jaguar Land Rover, the Mid-Counties Cooperative, Coventry University, Matrix Housing Partnership, Geopost of Smethwick and NutraHealth of Kings Norton. The companies have all been recognised for their achievements in the fields of either innovation, sustainability or international trade. Economic output in the West Midlands has reached a 13-month high, according to the latest survey from Lloyds Bank Commercial Banking Division. The Purchasing Managers Index placed the West Midlands as the second fastest growing region in the UK, with strong rises in new business and a solid record of job creation. In the health sector, MSI Recruitment has been chosen by Black Country Partnership NHS Foundation Trust to support the recruitment of mental health nurses and support workers across the region. The Trust is a major provider of mental health, learning disability and community healthcare services, employing over 2,000 staff in areas including Wolverhampton, Sandwell, Dudley and Birmingham. And the Institute of Directors is to start running its Chartered Director Training and Development courses in Birmingham this summer. The courses will be held in the Library of Birmingham, designed to provide leadership training for senior West Midlands business executives. Now, Black Country Chamber of Commerce has announced the appointment of 3 new directors this week. They're Christine Thomas, Chief Executive of Christine Thomas Limited, David Roberts, Chief Executive of Wolverhampton Racecourse, and Kevin Rogers, the Chief Executive of Paycare. And I'm delighted to say that Christine joins us now. Thank you very much for coming into the studio.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about you first and foremost. Then.
My background is mainly in HR. I've worked with some of the bigger companies as a senior HR for 25 years. And during that time, I've also worked part-time with the Employment Tribunal Service. So I absolutely, as you can tell, I'm absolutely passionate about the way that we engage employees in the business to make the business more successful.
So I guess you were quite interested then to see that bit we did before the break of this
Absolutely,
this People Portal
absolutely,
service,
yes. And I took the opportunity to have a chat with them because, yes, I'll promote it now that I know about it. Yeah.
So 20 years in the HR sector, all around the Black Country area have you been?
Yes, all of them in the Black Country, yes.
So you've done a bit of a tour of the region, have you then?
Yeah, I haven't had that many jobs with that many companies. I've probably worked with 5 or 6 of them in the Black Country. I've only ever really had one employer where I've had to travel, and that was somewhere up in Sheffield, Bridge in Sheffield.
It's not as good as the Black Country, though, is it?
Nowhere near as good as the Black Country. No, I do love the Black Country.
So where did your involvement with the Chamber start then?
I set up my own business 6 years ago, and as you do, you think, well, where am I going to get all this information from? Who's going to help me? I'm on my own. I don't have an employer anymore. And so I linked in with the Black Country Chamber, became a member there, and I've got so much out of it. I've just not gone away. My business does take me into other chamber areas, like we were talking with Shropshire before we started the programme. And I do work with, obviously, some businesses who are members of other chambers, but the majority of my work is the Black Country. I'm passionate about the area. I'm passionate about the people who live and work here. Why wouldn't I want to be involved? So
when you say you've got a lot out of your involvement with the Chamber, is that networking, contacts? Is it actual business? Is it maybe putting other people in touch with other businesses?
Well, I am very much a connector. I enjoy doing that, connecting people and seeing the fact that I've helped them to get together and they've both got business out of it. But for the Chamber, yes, I attend quite a lot of their networking events. Whenever I can, I'm there. I I'm the sort of person who I find it quite easy to talk to people, so I do make myself known. I'm sure some people think, oh, not that woman
You said
again.
that with a wry grin on your face then, so people remember you then, didn't they? So is
Oh,
that-
of course. Once seen, never forgotten, isn't that the saying? So yes, I do the networking events, but also I've got to know my membership manager quite well. And I always think that you get out of life what you put into it. You get out of the chamber what you put into it. And my membership manager is absolutely brilliant. She does look after us. She does get to know us, get under our skin, and she links me with loads of people. So I've had lots of leads, I've had lots of referrals through networking, and I've met people through networking who I've been able to get business from.
Excellent. So now you're a director of this chamber that's done so many good things for you. What does that mean?
I feel so humble, really. It means that I can have a teeny bit of influence on what's happening around the Black Country. And I'm so excited about that. And we've just heard from your news bulletin that we're doing well in the Black Country. We're employing more people. We're opening up more businesses. And I've been feeling that for the last 12, 15 months. When I go into my clients, it's a different atmosphere. People are keen, they're enthusiastic, and in many cases they're engaged and want to take businesses forward. So for me, to actually be a director of the Black Country Chamber and to be able to take part in the influencing is just awesome.
Because I imagine that
I'm blown away.
in the industry that you're in, the sector that you're in, HR trade, you're quite a good barometer of exactly how healthy the economy around here actually is. So
Yes.
what's the graph been like over the last few years?
Our problems in the Black Country have been skill shortage. And Jaguar Land Rover, brilliant that they came into I-54, but of course they want lots and lots of skilled people, so they've sucked in from all around the region, not just the Black Country area, but they've sucked in well-trained people, which has left some of the other manufacturing companies wanting. So skill shortage is something we've really got to deal with. We've got the hub at the Science Park, you may know about that, and they're focusing on marketing the area, they're focusing on access to finance, so people can go there, businesses can go there, and they can find out what help they can get. They are also looking at leadership development, so they'll be teaming up with the universities and the colleges and the Institute of Directors, IOD, I was trying to think what it was. And also export, and export of course is key to expanding the economy of the Black Country. So all of those things, it's just brilliant to know they're going on in the background. For me, my current work is as a business development manager, as a mentor to SMEs. So for me to have all this in the background and to be involved is absolutely brilliant, because I can channel my clients to all of these places where they can get fantastic help.
And when it comes to help,
Yeah.
do you feel that businesses, I mean, maybe I'm aiming this particularly at small businesses because they tend to be the ones that don't have the infrastructure behind them. Do you think they know where to go when they need help?
No, I don't. Some of them do, but not many. No. But again, this is something I experienced with the Chamber. The Chamber do have, when I say start-up meetings, new membership meetings. And this is where the membership managers actually come into their worth, because they sit down with you, they talk to you about what do you need, and then they can point you to the insurance backup, to the HR backup, to the financial backup and such, where you can get advice. So it is about being open to them helping you, but you can get it from there. But outside of organisations like the Chamber, I don't think people do know where to go. No, I was with a small business this morning, new client for me, first meeting with them, and they've been in business for 7 months, and they didn't know that there was money available for grants or equal funding, where you can get a loan but you only pay 50% of it back. They just were not aware that that sort of help is out there.
Do you find that actually as well, some businesses are too frightened to ask? If they don't know, because they don't want to make it look as if they don't know.
And I think they don't want to make it look as if they're needy. Yes.
But there's no shame in it, There's all these funds are there for a reason, aren't they? Because
Absolutely.
they've identified a part of the market that needs a
Yes.
bit of a helping hand.
Yes, yeah. I think since Growth Accelerator, which has now changed its name to Business Growth Services, but I think since Growth Accelerator has been available, and that's about 3 years. The mentors and the coaches who've worked with Growth Accelerator, I think they've done a fantastic job of spreading the word, but not far enough.
And that's why networking is so important, because you learn from people who've spoken to people, and suddenly you realise that maybe you're doing business with someone and there's somebody quite
Carl,
down
if you get
the
me onto
road.
networking, you've got a whole new programme.
We haven't got time now. Okay, it's a good time for me to change the subject. I must talk to you about your role in the Employment Tribunal Service as a lay member of that. What that sounds fascinating.
It's for the normal. There's nothing normal about unfair dismissal, but unfair dismissal is a repetitive thing that goes through the tribunal. Repetitive claim. Judges sit alone on those decisions, but anything that's more than that, so discriminations or unfair deductions from wages, all those sorts of things, there then is a panel of 3, and so there's a qualified legal judge, and then there is someone who represents employees, and there is someone who represents employers. I do the employer side. And we sit as 3. The 2 lay members, which is what we're called, the 2 lay members on the panel can overrule the decision of the judge if we think he's not being fair or she's not being fair. But generally we work together.
And say if you had any bust-ups then?
We don't have many bust-ups.
So that's all right.
No. But we do work together, and very genuinely in the retiring room we do have quite a few heavy discussions because we don't always agree on the interpretation of what we've heard. But basically we listen to the facts, we make decisions on the facts, and then out of that comes a decision as to whether the employer was unfair in his treatment.
Brilliant. I'm sure we'll talk some more. Christine,
Hopefully.
For now, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
That's all we've got time for this week. Join us next week for more West Midlands Business Chat here at Big Centre TV.